Page 177, the Shepherd Pipes. And again, as always, I would encourage you to try and sight read this. At least one hand at a time, see what you think. But I'm going to go through the process to learn a piece of music that I use, and we'll see. I didn't say that right, but hopefully you know what I mean by now. Below. I'll look it over. It's 3 lines long. Treble bass clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We look at the end. We are here. Well, that's not C major or A minor. So what is it? It's a mode. Remember the modes? I don't really talk too much about the other modes. You take the white keys and you do a pattern for a major scale on whole steps, half steps, starting with each one of these. It's a mode, another mode, and that's what this is. We're starting here. It's called Dorian mode. I won't get into it. That's not part of the lesson. But the point is, go ahead and just do the scale and arpeggio for the key signature and that C major and A minor for now, just to have something to do, because I don't do scales on the modes. Well, major and minor are modes, but I'm talking other modes. And 4/4 time signature. Now the left hand isn't doing anything, but they're holding it down every 2 measures, so I'm going to go ahead and take both hands together here. But I want a fingering in the right hand that lets me connect the notes if I can get one. So here, we may have to adjust. They want 5th finger, and that way we're in position for the first couple of measures or so. That's fine. Because sometimes when you're figuring out where do I start, if they don't give you finger numbers, you ought to look ahead and see what notes are there and how many of those notes can you cover in one hand position. Not always, but usually the way it goes. 1, 2, 1 and 2. And then what, second finger again? No. We have 2 A's in third. I'm going to use that to change position. So I'm going to use 5, 2 there in the third measure. So the second measure, we ended here, and then the third measure, just reach up a little bit, 5, and you got to play the left hand again here. Then measure 5, they want the 4th finger. That's okay, because we got an E coming up. Of course, you could, on measure 5, you could do a 2-1, because they're repeated, or 1-1, because you're close enough to do it. And cross over, that's fine. And then for measure 9, they want you down here. No. I don't want to do that either. I need to prepare for that note. And it's quite a bit, so I'm probably going to have to use thumb on it. I don't want here. But I got 3 D's in measure 8. So the last D, I'm just going to use little finger. Now I can reach down with 2 or 1, whichever, and 4. We need 4 on the G's. So whichever, whether you use a 2 or 1 is fine, but I need 4 on the G. So it's the measure 8 is here. And reach down, I do a 2 or 1, whatever, and 4. Now that's tied, and you play these, and now both hands are moving. Oh, goody. We get to move both hands at the same time. Fortunately, they go in the same direction, but there's no rest. Okay, let's talk about that. Now, sometimes we'll practice hand movements if we have to in piano because you can't mess up the rhythm because you moved the hand. This, the right hand first. You're here. You could play that last one with a thumb. That way your hand is a little closer because you played it with these other fingers, the hand's a little. And this little bit of distance can make a difference. So thumb here, and then we're coming, I'm going to use 2 and 5, because again, I don't have to move as far. If I use the thumb, I got to move a little farther. So here to here. Practice that. Know where you are and what fingers involved, and where you want to go and what fingers are there. That's it. Okay. The left hand is going from here to here, 2 octaves up. You can use the same fingers if you want. If you want to play that last half note with 2 instead of 1, so you can get the thumb, give it a hit start, it's up to you. But then when we go to put the hands together, here and here, You don't have any time. You got to get up there and play. You don't have time to fiddle around first. You got to get up there and play. So now, you don't need to do this right on this lesson, but I want to show you a technique we use in piano sometimes that might help you out in other things. And that is when that one hand can help another. Remember, just because the notes are printed in one staff or the other doesn't mean that hand has to play those notes. There's no rule that says that. Some teachers teach that, but no. So in that last measure, I could, if I wanted to, I could either do that A in the lower staff. I could do it with the right hand, or I could do the D in the upper staff, the last measure. I could do it in the left hand. Either one, because those are the notes that are being played. So I can play 3 notes in one hand and only 1 note in the other, if that helps it out. If this way, one hand's only playing 1 note, so in the left hand, I can just go to here. I can go here. If I use a 2 here, it makes it a little easier. So the right hand then just goes from here to here. Got to play all 3 notes. Well, I'm going to do a 2-5 there anyway, so I can do the thumb. So there we're going here. But you're only playing 1 note here. That might help a little. Or you can switch it. Maybe the left hand wants to play 3 notes. You only have to do 1 hand in there, or 1 note in the right. So I'm going from here to here. And this is going from here to here. I don't know. I think I prefer to do 3 notes in the right hand and 1 note in the left, because the right hand fingering is that anyway. I can just as easily add that other note. And this way the left hand's only doing that here. Here. Now what's actually going to save us here is the pedal. But I want to try and do this with the hands as best I can first. I'm not going to just rely on the pedal. Well, don't worry about it because the pedal's got it, so we got plenty of time to come up here. No, you don't. That's poor technique in my opinion. You need to be able to get up here quickly and accurately, with or without the pedal. Now, once I have all that worked out, then I work out the hesitations, and then I'll add in the articulation, and this is very connected. You have 2 measure phrases in the right hand, it looks like. So here, lift up both hands here because the right hand or left hand is some repeated notes. So it's 2 measure phrases in the right hand. The left hand, I'm trying to connect it all. I can't, but I try to. I pretend I can. Then the dynamics. P, that's the melody. Whatever you think soft. This, very soft. And don't worry about it lasting. Now, when you're down here this low on the piano, they'll last. They'll ring out for 2 measures. Then you gotta swell. So remember, look between them. There, and then come down. So and then soft, and we're gonna swell up again. Put in the dynamics. The last line is very soft here. Very soft. And you're dying away, and now you're going to go down to super duper soft. Here, both hands in the last measure. There's no melody. It's both. It's just a chord. Don't use the soft pedal if you can help it, although some teachers would teach that. Go ahead and use the soft pedal to make it softer. The problem is on a grand, it changes the tone. So unless you want that tone, in my opinion, it's better not to. It's also better practice and technique to learn to play softly, very softly. You're just stroking the note very lightly. Well, do that when you're doing the scales. How soft can you play a scale? To practice that. How light. Then the speed. Gently. Well, that's not a lot of help. The idea is it's a rather melancholy piece. I don't know. It's a very soothing piece. Not exactly a party piece, I guess. This is about where I've been going. 1, 2. Don't let it drag. Then I measure in 10. They put in an RIT, retardando. Well, be careful. Because when you're already going sort of slow, you don't have a lot of room to slow down. Especially with half notes and whole notes. Because the last few measures, here, last two measures, if you slow down a whole lot, they would just last forever. And people are saying, all right, hurry up and shut up so I can clap now or something. You know, is it over yet? Oh. So don't slow down a lot when you're already going slow. It works better on an instrument or voice where they can control the sound after they've started it. On piano, we can't. We just start the sound and the piano does it. Now, the last two measures, they did add pedal. That's fine. We could use pedal here, but it's a little bit dangerous. Because, let's talk a little bit. If you're going to use pedal, why are you using it? Here, we're using it to help us enhance longer held notes. We got these whole notes at the end. Otherwise, they just sit there and die away. Oh, this is fun. Isn't this interesting? Yeah, great. If you add the pedal on it, you're adding the overtones. You're giving it a little bit of flavor, a little bit of something. That's one reason. Another reason, it helps us connect the notes. Here, we can go from here to here. And we can take our time. We got a little more time here now because of the pedal. And it also helps us keep all of these notes going, because in the next to last measure we got these notes, and the last measure we got these notes. Well, with the pedal, we can have them all. We got all of these and these, all of them. That is the danger. You're dying away, you're slowing down, you're kind of fading out, and now you're adding overtones and enhancing the sound. Really? So you have to be very careful if you're adding pedal here to make sure you are really soft here so it continues to die away even with the overtones. And they have a fermato, which means you're just going to let that die away, basically. Well, there's another pedal technique I'll show you that can be used depending on the piano. It works on some electronics and some it doesn't. It depends on you have to experiment. But if it doesn't work on an electronic piano you're using, you can always reach up and just gradually turn the volume down, because what we want to do is fade out. We don't want to be here or have all this going and then all of a sudden stop. That's like an accent. It's like, whoa, what happened to the sound? No, we want it to die out. So what we do on an acoustic, and it should work. It should not buzz. If it buzzes, you need to have your technician check your dampers. But what I want to do is I want to gradually lift the pedal up so the dampers gradually touch the strings and the sound gradually dies away. And you have to experiment because different pianos will be a little different. But the last two measures, here we're very soft. And then you just let the keys up. Keep your hands on the keys, let the keys up. And now we're going to just slowly lift the pedal up and let the sound die away. It's a technique that can be used quite a bit when it's really soft and you want it to fade out. I'm not actually going to show the pedal because that's all they're doing. You can do that. Let's play this together slowly, probably about the speed it goes. So I'm not going to do louds and softs. I'm not going to do the pedal at the end. I'll give us 4 counts. We're not performing it, we're just checking notes and rhythms. 1, 2, ready, go.